Hey you! Happy Tom Ford Tuesday. Where on Tuesdays, I dedicate to Tom Ford Beauty. Today, I have some product updates for you because I know you've seen it. Tom Ford literally, it feels like he just opened up the floodgates. You get a palette, you get a palette, you get a collection. And here we are. So, I'm going to share some product updates with you with all of these collections, the concealer, the lipsticks, all of the things. And I'm also going to share with you, and we're going to talk about the new upcoming collection. Oh, took my breath away and kind of made me go, whoa, wait a minute, more? And, drum roll please, I have a update on my Lipstick Saga. A few Tom Ford Tuesdays ago, I shared with you a little situation, a little story time in regards to a particular lipstick. So I'm going to share with you how all of that turned out, along with the updates and this new collection. So let's hydrate and begin. All right. Let me get comfortable. It's one of those kind of videos where you can get a little cozy. It's Tom Ford Tuesday. You know the full face is Tom Ford. Everything we talk about today and everything applied will be listed and linked for you down below in the description box. Let's start off by talking about this new upcoming collection from Tom Ford. And I have to first start by saying thank you all so much for tagging me, for DMing me, for sending this to me. And then thank you to all of you who voted, because I shared this over on my stories on Instagram and I asked how you guys were feeling about it. Was it a yay? Was it a nay? And at the end of the day, 73% of you were like, yes, you're feeling it. You're into it. And then, of course, 27% said, no, Mo, leave it alone. So the collection I'm on and on about is the Tom Ford Soleil Summer 2023 collection. Now, in this collection, I'm seeing two eye color quads. This looks to be a highlight product of sorts. It looks like it's in the same packaging as the blush. The, what are they called again? I should know this. The Shade and Illuminate blush. I'm wearing sun drunk today. It looks like it's in that same size packaging. Gosh, I wish you would have made that a bronzer. Oh, can you imagine? Hopefully soon. I'm hopeful. Putting it out there. Please, can we get a beautiful bronzer, an updated bronzer? And then there's a lipstick, and it looks like it's a lip blush, but more of like a bronzy tone. Ooh. Speaking my language on every level. This entire collection, it's a yes for me. Not just because I'm a Tom Ford girl, but because it's so pretty. And the Soleil collections from Tom Ford are most always just like so nice, you know? So I'm looking forward to this, and the packaging is really pretty. It's very on par. It doesn't seem to be like the regular gold. I have a feeling it's more like that bronzy rose gold kind of vibe. Are you seeing it? You seeing what I'm seeing? Because I'm feeling what I'm seeing. Product updates. This is the time I want to take to share with you how everything has been going with all of the products that I have recently shared with you and tried from Tom Ford. And I'm going to start off with the Traceless Soft Matte Concealer. This is said to be a skincare infused stick concealer from Tom Ford. I really like the packaging. It's simple, it's sleek, it's very on brand. Now the shade that I have is 5WO Tan. And I went with a shade that wasn't too brightening, more so something that I would be able to reach for on the daily. This has buildable coverage. So what's nice about it is I've been able to go in very light-handed and apply it and wear it on like the everyday, and it stays pretty undetectable. It is quite hydrating, but not overly creamy where it feels heavy. It's been quite a comfortable medium. I've been able to get hydration, coverage, it's able to build where I want it to, and I'm able to wear it for long periods of time. My day starts at 5 a.m. every single day, okay? I'm up before that, but my day starts. I gotta get everything going. I have a whole entire household to run. Mom life, adulting, all of the things. So I need a product that's gonna ride with me. Something that's quick on the days when I need it to, something that's gonna hold up for the long days, and something that I can, if I need to, I can just take it with. So I get all of those conveniences with this product. I find it to be hydrating, I find it to be comfortable. I really like applying it with the fingers. I will say that I prefer setting this with a little bit of powder. I use the Westman Atelier what is it called? The Vital Pressed skincare powder. This is my go-to, and I use the shade Pink Bubble. Pink Bubble brightens quite a bit, so I went with a shade that was more close to my skin tone, that's not very brightening, that's just easy to put on the under eye, conceal my darkness, and if I need to, if I have any spots on the face, I can do that too without it being brightening and looking weird. So I prefer setting it. When I don't set it, I do notice that it creases a little bit. Preference and the way it's worked best for me on my longest of days and my shortest of days, when I'm in a rush, when I'm not in a rush, when I have the time, all the things. Blend it with my finger, set it with a very light layer of powder, good to go. So the Traceless Soft Matte Concealer, things have been going quite well. Let's talk about the Spring 2023 Rose Prick collection. This collection included 2 eye color quad crèmes and 2 lipsticks. This collection is inspired by the Rose Prick fragrance, which happens to be one of my absolute favorites from Tom Ford. Second to Champaka Absolute, which it broke my heart to hear that there's discontinuing that fragrance. Like, what? Why? Ugh. Let's talk about this collection because there was one re-promoted eye color quad crème. Now, this eye color quad crème formulation is a new formulation for Tom Ford. It's pretty much a cream to powder formulation. It's great to work with. It doesn't give any fallout. It's genius. Okay, this is what I have on my lower lash line today, and I love using it for that because you can smoke it out without the worry of all the fallout that you can potentially get when you're trying to do that. You know what I mean? And besides that, these shadows, they stay put, they don't crease. In my head, I'm like, oh, it's a cream. It's gonna crease. No, it doesn't do that. It's quite an amazing formula. So let me get back on track here. They had a re-promoted shade, and that was the Rose Topaz. This came out with the first set of eye color quad crèmes when Tom Ford first released this new formula. What they did was they released it in the limited edition Rose Prick packaging, which is really, really pretty. So if you didn't already have this eye color quad crème, you could get it in the pretty packaging, which I'm all for. I love when Tom Ford does limited edition packaging. So let's start off with Rose Topaz, this color story. From this palette today, I actually used this shade and this shade on the eyes. And these both are more of the matte of the cream to powder formulas. I'll give you quick swatches for refresh on this palette. I use this palette a ton, actually. I mean, look at this color story. This darkest shade here, I used it as a wing liner, and I love doing that with this because it's that cream and it's very easy to work with and it stays in place and it doesn't move. Very Tom Ford, very practical, very wearable. This is a pinky nude. I love putting this all over the lid. It works beautifully. You can use a fluffy brush to get just a softer application. Although they're cream, okay, they still work just like a regular eyeshadow. You don't have to use anything different to kind of accommodate the shadows. No. Everything works the same with these, and they're absolutely beautiful. And again, I touch on the fact that there is no fallout. Yes, even with these more shimmery shades, not an issue at all. Talk about Forbidden Pink. I don't find this to be very pink. I find it to be a little more bronzy and it's pretty, but I don't find it to be pink. Rose Prick collection, you think it's pink and all the things. I didn't get a lot of pink. That was like the only thing I was a little disappointed about with this collection, but I mean, it's not so bad. You do get like a little bit of pink. Both of them with the lightest matte shade, you do get a little bit of pink. So I mean, I can't complain too much. They're a little bit similar, but they're different enough to where if you love it, you can totally enjoy both. So as you can see, the 2 lightest shades, they're both pinky toned. One's a little bit lighter, one's a little bit darker. And you continue down to these shimmery shades. They're kind of similar in the sense that they're bronzy. Yes, I see it too. And then the darkest shade, this one is more of that rich brown, probably a little splash of red in there, versus this one from Rose Topaz that has more of like a deep cacao dark, dark splash of black. So these two, they're similar in a sense, but they're different and they have their own personalities. Forbidden Pink is new. It's not an existing color story. I did do comparisons in the dedicated video, but this is a new color story. It's not a revolutionary color story, but it is a pretty color story. It's another practical color story that has some versatility and that you can definitely create multiple looks with. That's the thing. You get 4 shades, but you get a lot of versatility right away. Let's do a smoky eye with a pop. Let's do a soft and everyday. Let's put this, use a nice light fluffy brush and softly blend this darkest shade on the outer eye just for a little bit of depth. And then of course, you always have the option to do each and every one of these as a one and done on the lid. And you can always use the darkest shade as a little wing. Continuing on with the 2 lipsticks from the Rose Prick Spring 2023 collection. There was one that I had from a previous launch. I had purchased it from Selfridges or Harrods. I don't believe it ever came over, but sometimes that happens. Sometimes Europe and Asia get a product and we don't, or sometimes they get it way in advance before we do and vice versa. But anyways, I already had one of the lipstick shades and then a newer one that I did not. So a quick refresher, we have the shade number 26 to die for. This is the one that I already had. How pretty is this? I'm going to swatch them beside so that you can see kind of how they go with the collection. You know, depending on how your look is, you can wear it with the color story. And then the other lipstick is number 52, Naked Rose. This one is more pinky. It's a little bit more fun, but it's definitely very wearable. And then this one is more of a darker red. Now these are both the Lip Color Satin Mattes. These are so creamy, so comfortable. They're not overly shiny and they're not overly matte. They're like that perfect medium. Now of the 2 shades, I have found myself reaching for the more pinky tone. I don't know. It just feels... I'm a pink girl, so it's kind of like personal preference. This is it completely turned down. As you can see, I do definitely use the pink one a little bit more than the other. The Cherries Color Collection. Electric Cherry and Cherry Smoke. Now this collection is inspired by 2 new fragrances from Tom Ford. The original Lost Cherry. This smells amazing. Love this. So I did go in store and test out the new Electric Cherry and Cherry Smoke. They started off great. Then they kind of had a dry down that came across as a cheap scent. And I was like, no, not for $300. I will spend the money on a scent if it is like, whoa, okay? So I skipped those 2 new fragrances and I'm going to stick with my Lost Cherry because it's a classic and it's beautiful. The fragrances may have not worked out for me, but let's touch on number 1, Electric Cherry Eye Color Quad. This one is in the wet dry formula. And then number 2, Cherry Smoke. This one is in what I like to call the more traditional formula. Starting off with Electric Cherry. Again, this is wet dry formula. One of my favorite formulas from Tom Ford. Here is my thing with this one. I just don't love these colors on me. The formula is fantastic. It's very pretty, but it's not enough to where I feel I have enough versatility. I end up just going in and using one color and I'll pair it with another eye look that I have going on just so that I can use the palette because I already have it. But if I knew what I knew now, would I get it? No. Sorry. It doesn't always work out, and that's okay. And that's why I'm doing this update for you, so you can know how things have worked out or not, you know? Cherry Smoke, on the other hand. Oh, I really, really like this color story. I'm constantly going into this shade for my lid shade, just as a one and done. I really, really like it. Here is the color story. Love using this shade all over the lid. That's like my favorite shade from the palette. Do you see how, in comparison to the other palette, there's just a little bit more versatility. You get a little bit more depth. It's, for me and my needs, my wants, my preferences, this color story worked out much better. They both pair well together very, very nicely. You can create some amazing looks by mixing these two together. Oh, yes. But again, if I knew what I knew now, I would have skipped this one and just got this one. I have used this one so much. One and done's with this. I put a little bit of this on the inner corner. I go in with a darker shade on the under eye. I'm able to come up with so many looks with just these 4 colors from this palette, and I love it. I love it so much. I have done a few videos and I've used this palette. It's getting a lot of love. It's getting a lot of use. One thing I will say, again, this is the more traditional formula from Tom Ford. This shade right here, I do always make sure to do my makeup. I do always make sure to do my eye makeup before my face makeup because I do get quite a bit of fallout with this shade. And I mean, it's to be expected. It's that type of shade that has the shimmery particles. They scatter, they fall. One thing I will say is once you apply it, it does stay put. I don't have an issue at the end of the day where I have like all the little scatters all over the place. I mean, but to note, I have only worn it with an eye base. I haven't worn it without, so that might be a factor. But of the two, this bad boy right here is the one. With Electric Cherry, it just didn't do enough for me where I am able to, I mean, I am able to create looks with just that palette, but I don't love them. And I'm supposed to love them. You know what I mean? At these price points, I'm supposed to love them, and I don't. Again, of the two, I prefer Cherry Smoke over Electric Cherry. Now, with the Cherry Colors collection, they did also release 2 lipsticks. One I don't have, and one I have, and that's a part of the story time. But that's the one I'm wearing on my lips today. Lip Color Matte in Velvet Cherry. Now, I will say Tom Ford's matte lipsticks are not typical matte lipsticks. They're not drying. They don't emphasize your lines and your texture in your lips. I definitely have lots of lines in my lips. It's such a comfortable formula, and this color is gorgeous. I will swatch it right here for you. Look at that. I love it. Now, the other lipstick... We'll get into more details, you know, with that whole situation and how I got so turned off I didn't even want the lipstick. I sound so entitled. I'm not. But you know what? Sometimes just principle alone, you know what I mean? Anyways, there's another lipstick, Electric Cherry, I think it's called. I'll put up a swatch from Tom Ford's site. But yeah, those are 2 lipsticks. Getting a lot of use out of my lipstick, definitely. And I like the packaging. The packaging matches everything. Velvet Cherry packaging matches Cherry Smoke packaging. Very, very much. Don't mind the fingerprints, you guys. I use my stuff. It's not perfect. But I've definitely been getting a lot of use out of Velvet Cherry. It's a gorgeous color. It's a comfortable formula that you want to reach for and you want to wear. Let's talk about the most recent collection from Tom Ford, the eye color quads for summer 2023, and the newest lip product, the Liquid Lip Luxe Matte. Yeah, Liquid Lip Luxe Matte. It's Tom Ford's version of a matte liquid lipstick. But there are some claims that it's like cloud-like, this, that, yada, yada, yada. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's start off with the eye color quads. So in this collection, he released 3 of them. Peach Dawn, Hazy Sensuality, and Golden Hour. I said it in my video, my review video, that I wasn't going to even get any. I was going to be, oh, whatever, I don't need it. But here we are. I got one. Peach Dawn is a beautiful color story. It's orange, bronzy, gold. Very peachy. Very, very pretty. Colors like this look so beautiful on an array of skin tones. I will say that. Done right, you can create some gorgeous wearable eye looks from this color story. And I mean, it's Tom Ford's sophistication type of color story. Very wearable, very easy. Each one of these I can see as a one and done. They are just beautiful colors. I just passed on it, and that's okay. Sometimes I'm going to pass on things. Next quad in the color Golden Hour. I don't know what it is. When I maybe it's just a me thing, and that's all right too. When I think of golden hour, I think of the sunset and all the colors in the sunset, the warmth and the golds and the things, you know, things like that. This, it has a lot of pink and coppery-esque and just straight up gold, which is beautiful. But the color store didn't appeal to me enough to want it. And this is not me talking you out of it. If you love it and you're adamant about it, do it. I encourage it. Enjoy yourself. Again, we're just talking. I'm just sharing, you know? And this is what I love about doing videos like this is we can have a conversation. It's cool. Golden Hour is a beautiful color story. It's just something that I didn't get excited about. So I didn't get it. Now, wait a minute. The color story that I did get, I'm very, very, very happy that I did. I went with number 42, Hazy Sensual. And as you could see, she's got a little beat up already because I have been going in on this palette. You do have two shades up top that are quite similar. Quite similar. And they both end up looking almost identical on the lids. This shade here, this one in particular, the lightest, has, I want to try to see if I can capture it. It has little shifts. I was on and on and on about this in my dedicated video, but I want to be able to capture it and share it with you. There are little shifts of like blue, purple, pink. Let's see if you can see it on the finger. Oh my gosh, are we going to be able to see it a little bit? Oh, maybe. Finally, a little. Just a little. Maybe you can see them just a tiny bit. Oh, that's so funny. I have struggled. I have been struggling so hard to share these little particles with you. But that makes these two similar looking shades different, in my opinion. So this first one, as you can see, it's very light and bright and frosty. It's got a little champagne to it, but it's very, very light. In comparison to the second one, which I find to be more of a true champagne. But again, in all honesty, if you put these two side by side on your lid, they end up looking almost identical. You'd have to be like this close to tell a difference. Now this pinky shade is it for me. I could use this shade every single day and be so happy, so content. Love it so much. And for today's look, my whole base, outer eye, all of that is this bronzy tone. I love this shade. This is another shade that I could use all the time, every day. These two together are stunning, amazing. But this is a beautiful color story. I'm very happy that I chose of the 3 new quads for summer 2023. I'm very happy with this one. I have been using her, loving her, and again, wet dry formula is my favorite. And what I do really enjoy about the wet dry formula is when you apply the shadows wet, you are getting a bit of intensity, but it's not over the top, and it's not something that will crack on your lids because the formula remains beautiful and creamy, just a little bit more elevated and intense. Let's talk about the Liquid Lip Luxe Matte. I will say the packaging is very beautiful. The claim on this is that it's a liquid matte lipstick that melts onto the lips with a cloud-like creamy feel. That is true. This is a very lightweight in texture product. And I love the applicator because it makes applying bolder colors easier. It has like a pointy applicator. See? Again, the packaging is really, really pretty. It's very Tom Ford. It's frosted. It's luxe. It's great. It's nice. Let me give you a swatch and then we'll talk. So, this is the shade number 129, Cardinal Red. I went for something a little bit more bold, a little bit more fun than the traditional nudes and pinks, because I have like 100 of those, which is fine, but you know, I went for a more bolder color. Make a little heart. See, that's what I love about this applicator. It's very precise. Mo, you know? Okay, you get the point. The applicator's great. Reality is, this is not for me. This is not a product for me. I have so many lines in my lips. I stay away from drier type of lip products because all they do is emphasize what I'm trying to hide and put away, and nobody needs to see, no one needs to know. Along with it emphasizing my lines, it is very drying. It's not comfortable. It's not something I enjoy. But what happens is once it dries down is when things start to change and I feel it becomes drier, and that's when I'm like, okay, no. Whoa, staying power. Serious staying power. Amazing staying power. I did test it out in my dedicated video and I had to scrub this thing off my lip. It was great. I did the kiss test. I did the drink test. Outside of the video, I have been wearing it just to kind of see if my thoughts would change because I do like how it feels when I first apply it and I love the staying power. And I was really wanting to get more colors, but I'm not because it's not for me. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Okay, let's talk about my lipstick saga. I'm going to call it that. It's really not that big a deal, but I thought it would be fun and funny to kind of just talk about. I'm going to remove my swatches in the meantime. Everywhere was either pre-order or did not have said lipstick. So I found the lipstick on Saks. So I ordered the lipstick immediately from Saks. Okay. Shop at Saks all the time. Love Saks. Got the lipstick, was so excited. Came, sat down to film, and as I was opening the boxes, I was like, wait, this is not the lipstick. What's going on? I felt bamboozled because nobody had the lipstick, and I felt like, okay, I found the lipstick, yeah. The color was more my color. I was happy about it. I was excited, but they sent me the other lipstick, and I was like, okay, mistakes happen. I'm just gonna chuck it up to it was a mistake. Let me get him on the phone really quick. Let's get this squared away. Again, I am a Saks customer. I am not a person that returns. You know what I mean? That's not my gig. I shop smart so that I don't have to return because honestly, returns are a hassle and they're a pain. But it happens on the occasion you gotta return stuff. But I'm talking to customer service and I'm like, you guys sent me the wrong lipstick. I just want to get my lipstick. Let's swap it out. Let's get this fixed. You know what I mean? And I'm nice to people. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not rude. When a mistake happens, a mistake happens. The person who you're talking the person you're talking to on the phone, they didn't do it. So why would I, there's no need to be rude and nasty to that person. Anyways, I kindly let them know there was a mistake with my order. I would like it rectified. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe this person was having a bad day. Customer service is not what it used to be. And, in these bigger companies, you would think they would do better, but funny jokes on you. So the person was so rude. They were like, well, that's the lipstick you ordered. I was like, no, that's not. It turned into, that's what I ordered. You got what you ordered. And for a minute, I was like, is this happening? Because, wait, what? Excuse me. No. And it kind of caught me off guard because I went into this kind, happy. I'm not looking to make this a whole thing. Let's just swap it out. Send me my lipstick. What's up? It got to a point where I had to say, look at my account. I'm not looking to get anything for free. You know what I mean? Because it was like getting a little hostile. I was like, Oh my gosh, relax. I'm the one that should be upset, not you. They did not want to fix it, pretty much. Okay. And I was like, but you sent me the wrong lipstick. Do you not have the lipstick? Couldn't get like a solid answer. Literally could not get a solid answer. I'm like, do you not have the lipstick? I'll order the lipstick now and then send this back and whatever. No big deal. So ultimately I was like, you know what? Let's just make this easy. I have not touched the product. I have not swatched it or anything like that. I'm not one to swatch and use something and then send it back because I ew. So I was like, let me just return this. Can I please return it? Let me get my money back. I'll figure out and order this elsewhere because I don't want to deal with you anymore because you are having a bad day and you're taking it out on me. The person on the phone was ready to hang up as I said, oh, I'm just going to return it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hello? Can I get like a label? And they were just scolding me and telling me, don't you know it's in the account? You just have to go to the... I was like, whoa, no, I don't know it's in the account. I don't do returns. I think this is actually my first return with Saks. I didn't know that you could go in the account, and I should because I'm pretty tech savvy. I'm pretty on the computer. I know all this stuff. But I just figured you're on the phone. You can just shoot me an email with it, with the instructions on, like, if, there's anything in particular because I'm on the phone with you. So it was just such a bad attitude. Oh my gosh. And then, you know what? It took almost 3 weeks for the return to process. Wow. Saks is not... I can go to Saks and return it, but I didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to do that. I have things going on. I don't always have the time to go and enjoy a shopping spree. Although my birthday's coming up and I'm due. So it took almost 3 weeks for a $50 lipstick, or what are they, 60 now? I don't even remember, to get processed and returned. Man, what a pain in the butt. Oh my gosh. No, 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 no. So finally, Velvet Cherry became available because at first, like I said, this was not available. The other lipstick was. And finally, this was available and I was able to get it and it finally came. And you don't understand. I am so happy with this lipstick. I'm going to enjoy this lipstick so much. I feel like because of my trauma, I'm going to enjoy this lipstick just so much more. Now, for anybody who wants to, that's what you're going to worry about. First world problems. Yeah, first world problems. This is our space to escape all of the other problems. I am not exempt from problems. I have problems too. But you know what? This is my little space where we, and I say we, all of us, as I hug all of you, we come to escape all of that. So on the occasion when little stuff happens, it's, it's just us talking, us just, not a big deal, But finally... I have my lipstick. Finally, the lipstick saga is over. I got my lipstick and I'm very, very happy. So, that's it. That's it. My story's over. Story's over. Rant is over. Happy Tom Ford Tuesday, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of this series, truly. This is a series that I, decided to start and do obviously with my love of Tom Ford, but I also really love sharing this series because it inspires you to go back and use all your beautiful Tom Ford products. I love being able to do that. And of course, I'm going to share the new stuff, but this is our little series where we can come and revisit our Tom Ford products and just love them and use them. And to all of you that have experienced and tried Tom Ford for the first time because of this series, yay! So, new Tom Ford's coming out, product updates on all of the most recent Tom Ford, and finally, very, very much finally, got my lipstick, and it is an amazing lipstick that I'm going to use so much. Okay. Happy Tom Ford Tuesday, everyone. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Please take a minute to give today's video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Stay beautiful, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.